Welcome back to the Roundtable Unfiltered, where we have no filters, just real talk and raw opinions. Today, I am welcomed by Megan and Pat from Deep Southwest. So,
howdy.
Howdy. This is gonna be fun. I think I have so much appreciation for just local talent and local celebrities. I guess I want to say, I guess not local for me anymore. I'm no longer from Chatham, but I think it's really cool. Someone who was born and raised in Chatham to have a couple like yourself be able to do something cool like this is, I think, not just cool and not just great for yourselves, but great for the community and just great for the people to have someone local to look up to.
Hey, well, thank you, Luke. And we are glad to pick up that mantle and run with the torch for other artists that want to do something outside of a bigger city center. And, you know, we're living proof that it is possible. You just got to find your community and literally just rally people and
do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Yeah. So whereabouts? So obviously you're both local in the Chatham area. Whereabouts do you both live?
Why? Well, you want to come stalk us? You want to show up on our doorstep? And
well, if you have any crazy fanatics out there, yeah, you just might. No.
No, we live in the Chatham area. We live near the Chatham downtown core, so we're quite close to all of the action, if you can call it that, in Chatham.
The action that there is.
That's really cool. And I really, and that's another thing I really wanted to do this because I want to hear your story. I think it's really fascinating. Like I heard about your story, how everything began, but some of these viewers might not know. So talking about, how it all began, it's COVID. What year of COVID was it that you started recording your first song, and how did that all come together?
Oh gosh. Well, first off, for people that don't know us, hello, hi. I'm Meg, and this is Pat. We're married, and we are a band called Deep Southwest. And we started during COVID. And you said, let's play some fun music. We've never sang together.
Yeah. So we had both worked on stage separately in different capacities, different stages across North America. And then we kind of had it with the big city and the big business and show business, and kind of took a back seat, and we moved to Chatham and kind of pursued other interests. And then COVID happened, and we had time to sit around. So I picked up my guitar that I hadn't picked up in about 2 years, and just started writing a song. And Meg had this idea, and she said, well, what if we took that and a couple other tunes and played off the back of a truck? And I thought it was a ridiculous idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was the first lockdown. So, no one knew what was happening, and we were all washing our groceries and, making sure that we had copious amounts of toilet paper to last the apocalypse. And so everybody was just displaced, as you remember. So I said, well, why don't we do some truck concerts? You're writing all this great country music, and it really felt like us for the very first time in our careers of performing. As a performer, you foster all of these skills that are only bankable for the place that you live in. And those skills didn't really leave room for other things that we wanted to do because it wasn't bankable at the time. We just needed to sell ourselves and sell what people were going to buy. So we were able, like I say, for the first time, just to feel free to do what we wanted to do. And so, I just said, let's get in the back of the truck. Let's bring the dog, and let's put the tailgate down. You stay on the porch. We'll stay in the truck, and we'll sing you some songs. And so we said, we'll do it twice, and then maybe we'll have one person that'll, my mom will want us to come out, and we'll sing a couple songs.
Course.
Yeah.
But and the first party we had, we went out, and one of the person who's our friend now, Elwood Shreve, came out, and he's from the local paper, and took a picture. We went front page in the local paper.
It was a slow news day.
Yeah.
But then we slowly realized we had something going on. People really liked the levity that we brought. And we honestly only had 5 songs. Like, we had 2 of ours and then 3 other ones. And we'd say, okay, well, that's it. And then they'd say, just play them again. So we would just play them again. We'd be like, okay, for the second time. And so eventually we couldn't kind of keep up with the demand of how many places wanted us and how long they wanted us. So they wanted us for 15-minute slots, and we would do 6 houses a night. And then we started getting half an hour slots, and then 45 minutes. And so we started fleshing out our set list really quickly. And then that's how Pat started writing all of his original music out of necessity for just to fill our set list.
Get material.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. You know, so I when I was doing some of my research and when I first heard about you, because someone I know, obviously she claims she knows you guys, and
who are they? Who is she?
I couldn't tell you. I'll tell you after.
Okay.
I don't like to throw names on here, but anyway, she kind of I saw her on her story, and she went to the premiere, and I'll talk about that in a bit.
Oh, yeah.
And she went to your premiere, and I was like, okay, what is that? Because I never heard. Because I mean, I grew. Okay, so I moved out of Chatham, Ontario, 2021. My wife and I, before we got married, she was living out in Courtright, and so long story short, I moved out with her in 2021. So I don't know what goes on in Chatham since 2021, and I don't know I don't know the news. So I see her on a story. I'm like, what's this premiere in Chatham, Ontario? What's going on? And I got to see it, and I was like, this is actually really cool. Like I really like the story, and I looked up, and I was like, this is really cool, and I like what this couple's all about. And and so I looked up one of the songs. I think it was "Glasses of Whiskey," and it's really cool. It's different. It's almost like your classic country, but it's almost got like just an acoustic kind of, almost like upbeat kind of a mash between the two. And I really like it. It's different. I really like what. How do you feel the reception's been with a lot of people that have been listening to your music?
It's been great. You know, it's always a hit when you go out and you play the top 10 country tracks of all time, you know, but you know, it's something special when you start playing original music and people start having a reception to it, or people, you know, I have friends and people that I know quote lyrics to my songs back to me, you know, and that's really, really special. And you know, something different's going on.
Yeah, we the first song we recorded during COVID was "Glasses of Whiskey," and it's really an atonement song for a person that's been drinking, and it's from the wife or the partner's point of view, which is like, you don't see yourself, but this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing yourself just totally destroy everything that we had because you can't put down a bottle, you know, like I just wish that everything everything could just break, and then you could see it because you're losing me. Like I'm going away. Like I'm leaving.
Classic country.
Very.
Yeah. And that was the first one we put out. And then we just got busy. Honestly, we just got busy. We started performing and we didn't have time to record anything. And then Pat started writing this hip hop rap. And he was like, what is this? You know, it was really cool lyrics. They were really cheeky and they were really witty. And that kind of filled out our set list really nicely. So we've got songs that really juxtapose and are really swing from each other. These beautiful, thoughtful pieces like Daughter, which we're releasing soon. It's just about, you know, all the things that you would do if we weren't able to have kids. So it was Pat's way of just sort of, you know, compartmentalizing the fact that we weren't going to have kids.
Yeah, what I would say to my daughter if I was able to talk to her.
Yeah, what we would say,
if we had a child.
And how we would treat her, and we would just like take the reins when she's ready or before she's ready, and then when she just rides, you know, ride that pony off into the sunset. We'll just be there to guide you. And so we've got these soulful songs, and then we've got songs about like just, you know, these bitches on John Deere's and like.
Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. Yeah.
The rap really came about as a writing exercise for myself, as kind of like a flow state. So I put on a rap beat on the background, and I just started rhyming off the top of my head and letting it kind of come out. And then eventually I unintentionally had big chunks of verse and rhyme, and I kind of started playing with them and putting, you know, finding more country hip hop style beats to put behind them, and it all came together.
Yeah, and we just liked it, and there wasn't any real influence or any real reason why Pat was writing it or what we were doing. We were just playing a lot of gigs, and we said, let's do an album. Let's put some stuff together. Let's record some things. And then that was almost a year and a half ago. So we started, but then the opportunity with Bell came up, and they were looking for content, and they were looking for a TV show, and a local TV show. So we pitched them this idea about Deep Southwest, this small town band. And basically it has 2 songs per episode. They're all original, and it's a scripted musical comedy about them trying to make it to the local Hawaiian Pizza Festival.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I actually wanted to ask about that. So so talk about like everyone that was involved. I mean, you had so many people being able to just be involved with this whole project, and obviously yourselves and just the community. So was there any factors or any barriers that you both faced when having to film, especially in maybe, I know you had some parts in Chatham that, are busy spots and with the sound and everything. Mm-hmm. What were some barriers that you had to deal with?
Well, first off, when we got the funding, so Bell 5 TV1 gave us funding to make this TV show. They believed in our crazy idea, so they gave us funding. They said, this is strange. Here, make this TV show. And they didn't really give us a lot of guidelines, except for it had to be filmed exclusively in Chatham. So no Blenheim, no Petrolia, no anywhere. It had
no London, no Windsor.
No London, no Windsor. It had to be Chatham because the funding was exclusive. They wanted rural. So the challenges was the weather, because we wanted to show Chatham in the best light possible, which meant that we had to haul our rears to get everything filmed when the weather was beautiful. So we filmed August, September, October. And we had a really nice September, October.
The weather was perfect. Even the days that we thought we'd have to cancel and it was raining all day. As soon as we stepped outside to film, the rain stopped and the clouds separated. It really was immaculate timing.
Yeah, and the only other challenge I would say is funding, because they gave us funding, but if you can think of your favorite TV show, we're talking millions of dollars, per episode. We did not have millions of dollars.
Right.
We had less than, millions and thousands of dollars. So that was a challenge, just to be able to use it in a really economical way and make sure that everybody was paid, everybody felt valued. And so we used it on talent. We used it on everybody in the community. So that was a challenge, just making sure that we could actually film it and do it justice with the funds that we had.
That's really cool. And I find though, at the end of the day, with today's world, everyone talks about, sometimes it's not about the budget, it's the content that you put out, and it's the quality, not quantity. And for me, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I know that you just started. I think it just premiered. Well, I know you had your premiere, but it premiered March 20th. If I'm correct.
Last Thursday.
Yeah. So I haven't had a chance to watch it. I haven't had a chance to do any of that. I've been bloody busy. Actually, I just got back from vacation, so I'm just and everything.
I feel so sorry for you getting back from your beautiful vacation with your gorgeous tan.
Well, I was in Florida, and it sucked because even there, the mornings were they weren't cold, but they'd be maybe 11, 12 Celsius, right? So they were a little chilly for Florida standards, and then it hit 20, 25 by the middle of the day. So it was nice, Yeah. And then coming back, and I was expecting it should be about 11 or 12. I could handle it. And we come back, it's 3 or 4 in Flint there, and we're a little cold. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I just find, it's not always about how, the budget. It's just about good writing. And I've seen enough that I know this is gonna be a really good hit. And the people that tell you what were their thoughts, and were you happy with everything afterwards? After seeing everything?
Well, we really worked hard on, because we didn't, like what you said, because we knew that we couldn't get the funds that we needed to make this into the stratosphere of Yellowstone and backup dancers and big production numbers. We knew that the writing had to be incredible, because if the writing wasn't incredible and the relationships weren't incredible, then why are you watching it? There's no point. Audiences will forgive that kind of lack of budget if you're compelling, if the songs are amazing, if you're going to give them something to watch worth sticking around for. But if you've got no budget and no script and sucky actors and everything else, then they're not going to stick around. But we definitely tried hard to utilize everybody that we could in the community that was excited about the project, because that, I think, transcends anything that we could have done with a big budget. They were so excited to be there, and we were just excited and like, are we doing this? Are we doing this? You know, that it did. I think it lifted it a bit. What was your question? I got lost.
I mean, like, were you both happy with the product after watching it?
I think the biggest thing that people say after they see it is it wasn't what I expected, but I really liked it. Yeah, we thankfully
surprised but satisfied.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, people say I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't realize it was going to be that good. Mm-hmm. So those type of reactions,
we really take it for a turn. You know, it's Canadian content, so it plays like a Canadian TV show, but we don't hold punches. You know, like the comedy's there, and sometimes it gets a little dark. You know, and sometimes we have a laugh at somebody's expense. Yeah. You know, and it's really dynamic in that way, where we don't just hold on to one type of comedy and then just play it. Like, we really play the whole gamut.
Yeah. So there's lots of sketch. There's lots of stylized music videos. But there's the through line. We even have our dog Riker, who's the lead. He has a big part in the show. He's very important in the show. And so we got him to act as much as we could. And
he did good. Actually, he did really good. Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's just assume that he got a lot of Scooby snacks after that. Come on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He's 12-year-old hound dog, or not a hound dog. He's a yellow lab. So he could do what he could do, but we definitely
a lot of people, he's the favorite part of a lot of people.
Yeah. He's featured in many of the episodes. He's the hero of the piece.
Yeah. And then with Bell Fiber TV1, was there any guidelines they gave you? So I know you talked about only filming in Chatham. Excuse, I can't talk today. only filmed in Chatham only. But did they give you anything about with the rating? How much like cursing? Like, was there anything any guidelines, or it was all free range?
No.
Well, that's not completely true. Like, we
really,
like here comes the truth.
Yeah. Was I unaware? Was I not in that meeting?
Yeah, like we tried to make sure that, like, you know, there is swearing in the show, but it's a comedy, so the swearing is as a part of jokes. So for most of the part, most of it is bleeped. Like, the F-bombs are all bleeped, but everything else we kind of leave in there. If we felt that it was served a purpose and it was for comedic effect, then we left a lot of it in. But it came out around like a TV 14, so it wasn't bad.
Yeah, but we filmed it and we didn't hear from them for months and months and months and months, and I was like, I hope they like it. So we put it all together, the first draft of the edit, along with our partner, I guess. What would you say? Our
associate?
Our associate, Ben Sorokas. He's with Oak Productions. He edited it and filmed and did a lot of stuff on the back technical end. But we put the first draft up, and then we sent it to our contact and said, and then she just said, "Yep, great, love it, I love it." And we're like, Okay. Any changes? And she said, "No. When will you have it? When will it be mastered? When will it be colored? We're really excited about it." So yeah, I felt like it was just free reign. We only use swear words to punch the jokes, not just randomly F-bombs, because that's not funny. It's not us. And we just had the content. If it was a little racy, it was to serve a purpose. It wasn't just like naked hose in the bathroom, like we just had, like, there was only one naked hoe.
That's season 2.
And she served a purpose.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like I think that's really neat. And not just to be able to do it, but have the opportunity. I mean, you said that they reach out to you. Did you at any point in your mind, did you both in any point in your minds know that this was going to be possible, this was going to happen? You just thought you record some music, maybe do a little bit of a tour, and that was it?
Oh yeah.
Well, for Deep Southwest, we always think it's about to end. We always think that it's about to be over. This next thing that we're working on is going to be the last thing that we do at Deep Southwest.
This might be the last interview we ever do, Luke.
Yeah, exactly.
No one will ever want to talk to us again, right?
But there's moments, like when we filmed. When we were filming, one of the first things that we did when we were filming the TV show was get all the music videos out of the way. Mm-hmm. And when we filmed one of the music videos for a song called 3-Piece Suit, and we saw the playback for it, everybody stopped and went, oh. This is going to be good.
Yeah. So we had nuggets like that, but generally we were filled with a lot of doubt and a lot of stress. A lot of fear, because we're not a production company who does this all the time. This was our first step into the world of TV as musicians. And we let our instincts guide us a ton, and if I can offer any advice for anybody seeking to do this type of work or anything in the arts, what you like. What you like. Do that.
Trust it.
Trust that. And if something feels weird, like if I hear something that doesn't sound right in the dialogue, or if it just, then I know it doesn't feel right to me. And so we got to look at it, because my instincts are valid. And so is everybody's when they're creators, especially of their own work.
And at the end of the day, all you have is your taste, regardless of how much money you have, you can make something great as long as you trust that your own taste.
Yeah. And we really like it. We think it's funny. Yeah. It's just the right flavor of stupid for us, and we giggle at it. And so really we made it for us and our friends. And then that has magically translated to other people.
I can't remember if it was the 3-piece suit one, but there was the photo of you two in front of a window and you both had the blue suits on. Maybe am I correct? Is that the one? Yeah. I thought that was really cool. It's not just, I think, the music that you both have, because I really do enjoy it. So my wife is kind of trying to transition me into being this country listener. She's very much, she likes her country. I mean, she likes a little bit of everything, but mainly country, a lot of Jimmy Buffett, things like that. And for me, like, I always been like, I like a little bit of my country. I like the old country, but she's turned me over the countryside, and I really like, I didn't just like it for what it was, but I like your style. I think that you both have a very iconic look. You have that almost that you're very much selling to your audience, and I really appreciate that. It's something I really learned in Arnold Schwarzenegger's book. It was about how the idea is selling to your customers, and you've both done that very well, in my opinion.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I guess our customers are our community, and I don't mean that just exclusively to Chatham, Kent. I mean that when you come to a Deep Southwest concert, when we're live, we'll make you play the tambourine. Pat might need a break for a minute. I might need someone to hum some lyrics. Like, you are a part of our community at that place. We are very much interested in collaboration and inclusivity when we perform. A lot of artists want you to sit down and respect what they're doing, but we want to make sure that you are included with us, because that's one of our values as artists, is that we want to make sure that you're a part of this. So many people nowadays feel displaced with just in their phones, or they have lack of community. Come be a part of our kitchen party, share some laughs, yeehaw bunch, and we're gonna create something really cool in the space that night.
Yeah, and that's a thing too. You I feel like these days, like, people pay so much to go to concert, and sometimes you see people they're on their phones. I'm like, there's someone on stage, there's a band on stage, there's a singer on stage, and you guys are both on your phone. There's people on your phones. Like, get off your phone. You paid this money to go see someone. You're on your phone. It's cool that you're able to, like you said, you make everyone almost like they're a sense of being the part of the community, and that's really cool. And I don't even think it's not just that, but the fact that you're able to, you're making everybody become a part of the show, and I think it just makes it more fun, and that just makes it more engaging. I really like that, and that's one thing I've really enjoyed going to like local shows. A buddy of mine growing up, Brennan Dubé, he's done shows like that, and he will get up and he'll like get interactive with the crowd, and I think that's awesome. And people never feel like they're just sitting and watching; they feel kind of part of the show, and that's what I really respect about local people, and I mean just people like yourselves is like you're able to just be able to make people feel like they can be part of something really cool and something great, and I think that's really cool, and that's why I wanted to talk to you about it. I think you both have that really cool story, and just being able to be a part of that, and I think that's and that's one thing. I mean, I think I can have points saying that I'm from Chatham, so I think I can be included on that.
Really?
I do. And no, I think that's really neat. And yeah, I just think that talking about country, I've always found country in the last, I don't know how you both feel, because I know you guys both do it, but I feel like in the last 5 years, country's really taken off. I don't know how you both feel, other than you make the music for the people, but just as spectators, it's crazy how much country is just taken off in the last 5 years. It's, for me, like, I feel like that I don't know what it is, if it's just the way country's been played, but you both have come up with a unique style that I think that's what people have been searching for. You have, in my opinion, you have a section of individuals that are very diehard, classic country. That's it. That's all they like. They're deep in the South America, country music, and then you have the people who are really turning into this new country music. And I think you both have kind of created something new and something fresh and alive that people can kind of become. So if you're not classic, maybe you're not so much into that classic country, but you can kind of dive into something new. I think you're becoming a part of that new era of musicians with country music and doing something a little bit different. Like, I mean, I know that we have people like Chris Stapleton, and I know you got like Jelly Roll out there, and Kane Brown. Like you all are doing something different, and I think that's just awesome. I think that I don't know how you both agree with that, but I feel like you're becoming a part of that new group, and that new group that can kind of give out that new sense of country to the new generation.
Oh, thanks, Luke. You're so complimentary today. We really appreciate it. We were just about to pick up the band until we talked to you. Let's just give them jobs and die.
No, country, I think it's a palate cleanser. I think it's like a generational palate cleanser. Mm-hmm. I think all styles of music, I appreciate all styles of music, like from country to rap and to rock and classical opera. Everything has its place in the world. But I think like they say, 4 chords and the truth, mm-hmm. right? Like I think it's a palate cleanser, and people can come and sit down and really listen to something. And it's like the opposite of what our whole social media world is represented by, and the complications that brings. It's so nice to hear the simplicity of the truth in country music, mm-hmm. and there's all kinds of, like Morgan Wallen, which he's kind of like this kind of rap, mm-hmm. country pop, like country with rap beats underneath it kind of thing. And Jelly Roll is the same. And then you have this country mm-hmm. revival with Sierra Farrell, Colder Wall, Tyler Childers,
Nick Shoulders. Mm-hmm.
All of these guys who are going right back to the roots, right back to, Charlie Crockett, who's going to be in Toronto. He's coming up, and he's like, he's throwing back to the Hank Senior days. And I think it's refreshing. I think everything is cyclical, and I think it's really, really coming around, and country is having its moment in the heyday. And we jumped on board, not
intentionally.
It was just what worked when we moved. I'm from the East Coast and lived in a lot of rural areas there, and connected with country and
horse. You
worked in the boarding farm, and baling hay and that type of thing.
Yeah.
And once I was, moving back to small town, reconnected with that style of music, and it just kind of made sense.
And it didn't. I feel like country also. I mean, correct me if this is wrong, but I don't feel like it's as pretentious as other styles of music. Like you can just put your heart out there in a very simple ballad, and people really listen to it. our raps they might be polarizing coming up. Like, your wife is a diehard country fan. Play 3-Piece Suit for her and she'll go,
now on Spotify.
What is this? Yeah, it's now on Spotify. So we don't know how it's going to really hit with the wider market, but we know that we like it, and that's kind of a sound that we're really enjoying making. So
yeah,
we can keep making that kind of sound, then hopefully we'll find our niche market of people that will enjoy it as well outside of this place. But if it's not, oh well, we're pretty good with making music for all the people here.
So rewinding here a little bit. So you talked about playing shows, and you have the TV show right now that's airing. Do you have any shows lined up? Are you doing anything? Do you have any like tour going on? What can you for the viewers watching? What can we kind of expect from you in the future?
Well, first off, Luke, we're exhausted from putting together that TV show. It was not easy, everyone. We're just talking about that now. So we've had some great meetings with some other streaming services for our TV show and fleshing out some other kind of on-screen opportunities. And then we're just talking about what we want to do with a stage show. We would love to take it on the road with a bigger band. It just can't be the two of us, and it's, and our dog. Like, the sound is too small for bigger venues. So we haven't really.
We keep on playing lots of our duet shows around Ontario.
Oh yeah. We keep doing that.
We keep on doing that, but we are looking to expand into having like a more auxiliary band that we can pull with us, so that we can either play. You have the two of us, we have the band, we have a bigger show, we have the TV show, and then we can kind of scale it.
Yeah, but right now, besides the pitches that I'm working on for other TV opportunities,
that's enough.
That's enough. It's enough. Really, it is. It's a lot of work. But a stage show would be great, like a sit-down show at an actual theater. So we have a beginning to an end, and maybe like the beginning of our relationship with the cardboard moon, and everything is just in like a real kind of drawn out state, and then in the end of the show it's materialized and it realizes into like actual I don't know,
dream.
Does this make sense? It makes sense to me, but
it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so something like that with all of our original music, obviously, and then with a bigger band. But honestly, Luke, the first step has got to be, and the reason really why we put this show together was because we met with the manager, the TV show. We met with the manager, and they said, well, unless you have 25 to 30,000 followers, we won't even look at you. And we don't have anywhere close to that. So if you want a manager, if you want a booking agent in Canada, you have to do so much legwork before they will even listen to your music.
Yeah, and it's kind of like you have to kind of work your way up to kind of get to where you want to do. But I feel like, looking at the both of you, I feel like you both have that drive to be able to do that. And it's not easy. It's crazy, like how managers work and how they're very much like, well, I'm not going to do that. Some managers don't see the potential in people. They don't take the risk like you both have taken that risk. And it's kind of unfortunate, in my opinion. Like, it's unfortunate that managers do that, but I understand they have their job to do as well. So it's kind of comes full circle for everybody, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I don't blame them all either. Like, you can't take risks nowadays. You used to be able to with musicians because people would also take risks on those musicians, but it's so formulaic now that
so much,
that they're not going to take that chance, but that's what we're trying to do. So how do we do that? How do we kind of get our followers up so that people will take us seriously? So tell everybody to start following us.
No worry, I'm going to be doing my job. I'm working on mine for my new podcast.
I know, yeah.
But what would be really cool if you both could come out, Sarnia Lambton area. I think the people here would love to hear something. Have you both been out this way by chance?
Yeah, we're going to play at the ISO bar coming up.
Okay, right on
the street, right? Yeah. So we've played there a couple times, and we've definitely had a kitchen party in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun. And so we're going to play there again. No date set. We're just talking to the guy who runs it right now. So yeah. So when we do, I'll tag you in it and come out and bring your girl, and then we can have a little bit of a party.
That would be awesome. Yeah. Like, I think like, and that's a thing is, I feel like local shows are some of the best. They're some of the best. And the thing is, one thing I've never enjoyed though, is you go to some bars and they just set some musicians up somewhere and they let them play, and it's nothing formal, and it sucks because sometimes they're not getting the same, reception from the crowd as if it's kind of a more of a actual show. Like I've seen some breweries where they have a brewery and they have someone playing music, but it's not anything formal. They just kind of stick them in the corner somewhere and be like, shoo. And and they just let them play music while everyone's drinking, which is fine. But it doesn't seem like they're not getting the same attention. They just play their music and that's cool. But it's like, then people are trying to chat and people are complaining, well, I can't hear my buddy. They're playing too loud. Well, that's why it's called a show. I don't like that. I hate when they do that to the musicians and they do it to the people attending. Like, it should be something formal, like the so and so's playing at this show. They actually have like a formal show, and then if you want to go grab your drinks, you go and just keep casual. And I hate when bars do that. I don't know why they do, but
we played every kind of show you can imagine. We played bars, backyards.
Cornfields.
Talk about the cornfield. What's that like? I can only imagine that it's a little unofficial and everyone's
just a big backyard party in the middle of a field, and we roll up with the truck and
throw the speakers down and just crank them up. Try to blast all the crows out of the corn. And
it was for a big family like get together, one of those 5-year kind of events where everybody with the same last name shows up, and we get bit by mosquitoes. We played at some trailer parks.
Yeah, those are good ones.
That's been fun.
Yeah,
we played in the rain, and then we'd have to stop because we couldn't play in the rain anymore. We've done it all on the back of that truck. We've traveled everywhere.
We've earned our stripes for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And indoors is nice because then you can actually hear yourself and not get eaten alive by
just
bugs.
A sound level.
Yeah, but we've also played shows where people have thrown things at us. Like this one guy threw sausages at us once. Mm-hmm. He didn't like our music, so he was drunk and threw uncooked sausages that he had in his outside underwear.
I think there's a little bit more than him just being drunk going on.
Yeah.
If you're gonna put sausages in your underwear, it's like, buddy, compensating for something. Come on, like what's going on here?
And you think that would be the lowest point of our career, but I think it was Canada's Got Talent.
Yeah, I think that was probably
the worst. Yeah.
Oh, you won Canada's Got Talent. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Like, talk about that as well. Like, that must be just quite the experience as well.
Well, it was. They aired it 2 weeks ago, so the initial season, and they brutalized us. They slaughtered us. They took all the worst parts. They made our singing sound strange and out of tune.
They edited in people's faces.
They were axing like. It was a total disaster. But those moments, like, those are formulaic, right? Like, we went there, we tried, and they decided to slam us.
The filming was different. We went in realizing that we weren't trying to win $1 million. We just wanted to go in and have a fun experience and sing some songs and do our thing, right? Yeah. And the judges they did. They're like, you guys are fun, but you're not gonna go on, But thank you, and like. We really liked because we sang and we rapped.
Yeah.
I got to sing with Shania Twain, which was really cool.
So cool.
But they didn't show any of that.
No.
They only showed Howie being really rude and
the audience is booing us and us sounding and looking like absolute fools.
I always find though failure is never the end. Either you win or you learn or you win, and there's no, in my opinion, even if you do fail, it's a learning opportunity. Even if you feel maybe not in this case, maybe they were a bit of bastards to you guys, but like I feel like anything that you do in life, like you create a song and say it doesn't work out, you maybe you fail making a song, or it didn't turn out the way you do, but you learn from it, you put the work in. You learn how to get better and better, or or maybe you tune the song up a little bit, and then it becomes your biggest hit. And that's where I find a lot of people can struggle in life sometimes, is they hit failure and they say, well, time to give up. Where you went on a show, you took a experience that, okay, you didn't get to move on, you didn't get to the $1 million, but you stuck and said, but you turned something that didn't go your way into a positive. You said, hey, but it was a cool experience, and I respect that. And I think a lot of people in life have to be able, because us as human beings, we are natural to take failure and let us bring us down. Like, a lot of people beat themselves up, like, well, I coulda, shoulda, woulda. And a lot of people need to stay in the, well, I mean, they need to stay in the positive, but we do this as a species. We stay in the coulda, shoulda, woulda. And what we don't do is we don't take those three things and turn it into a positive and look and say, well, I didn't get, I went on a show, or I put on a concert, I put on a show. Maybe it wasn't our best set, but we still had fun. And some of the people still had fun. And I think that's what you both have done. And I think that's so great, not just for yourselves, but it's good motivation for the people watching, knowing that, you keep that positive attitude. And I really respect that. That's one thing I really respect what you said about, going on the show. And I just feel like a lot of people do struggle with failure. They think that's it. And it's crazy.
Because it's terrible. I mean, what band wants to have, what band says, I'm going to go on there. They're going to do me so dirty on that show. They're going to make us look like idiots. And like that we can't sing, that we don't know what we're doing. And that'll be fun for me. No one wants that. But here's the thing. What you say is that if you are not willing to have that kind of embarrassment, then stay the fuck home, because that is the majority of what's going to happen to you as a traveling musician out there. You're going to have sausages thrown at you. You're going to have those gigs where no one listens to you. You're going to have people that have strong opinions. Like, would I rather that not happen to us? Yeah, I would love just a trajectory that's like this, but that's not what success is. And that's not what
you fail up,
man. And, everything in this world is, you either learn from it and then you just shut up and continue on, because you got to weather those storms. You can't just be a fair weather performer. There's going to be times when it's going to get real rough. Did we do it to ourselves? Should we have known better? Probably. Was it like cringy and like the worst thing ever? Yeah, but guess what?
You got to experience it, and not everyone can say they went on Canada's Got Talent. Like that's accomplishment enough.
I feel like anybody could say they did. Just sign up for it. They'll make fun of you. Go for
it. Bringing back to what you both were talking about, like sausages getting thrown at you. I remember I was about, I think it was like, I would have been 17 or 18. I went to a buddy. I had a friend, actually two buddies that were in a band together, and there was three of them, and they were called Sound System, and they're very like kind of like a punk ska band. And it was really cool, like what they had going on. But they played at my buddy's basement one night, and his parents are out of town. And I mean, we're talking 13, 14 years ago now. And so they're playing some kind of show, and I can never forget, everybody's smoking weed, everybody's smoking dope and people drinking. Obviously, us kids were all underage. And I remember some guy came out. Nobody knew who this guy was. Apparently, he was buddies of somebody who was friends of this guy. This guy comes out, doesn't say a word to anybody, and they're playing songs, and then they were adjusting their instruments, and so it's kind of like silence, and everyone's just like waiting for them to play their next set. And so they have all the sound of all the sound systems on, and everything's going on. And this guy just comes out of nowhere and just screams, just like, play another fucking song, and takes half his beer can, just whips it right at my buddy. Beer goes all over. He's like, well, takes off his shirt, and then all the guys in the band start taking off the shirt, taking off the pants. I'm like, what's going on here? And they all start playing in nothing but their underwear, and it was like, what the okay, what is going on? I mean, like, I'm not in the right state. I'm like, what's going on?
They were like, let's get naked.
Yeah, I bet they planned that. It sounds like a plan.
No, that's terrible though. People do that, and what you have to do, you just have to roll with it or make the decision to leave. Like the night of the sausage massacre.
Sausage fest,
Yes, Sausage Fest. We left. We had to leave.
Yeah.
You know,
it wasn't a good scene.
It wasn't a good scene,
Yeah.
and people were getting aggressive, and they just didn't like us. And so we're like, well, oh well.
We get paid. Peace.
Yeah, it was like, give me my money
Exactly.
now. Boom. And you know, your establishment is not ready for us. Call us back when you have better patrons.
Would you say that's probably the craziest experience you both have had?
Canada's Got Talent for sure,
Yeah, for
because
sure.
it was just a lot and it was lovely. But then we knew that they were going to make fools of us, and that was just hard to live through. But yeah, definitely the sausages.
Definitely the sausages. Yeah.
But we've been at breweries where we're stuck in the corner and it's so big and noisy and no one can hear us and we can't even hear ourselves. And we probably sounded like crap and like, you know, that type of stuff where it's raining.
We've played to rooms of like 10 people, you know.
Yeah.
It's all par for the course.
Yeah.
Well, if you both ever come out this way, I don't know if you can get in contact with them, because right now I think they're in the middle of selling their business. I don't know why, because they've only been open for like 2 years, maybe. Two Water Brewery in Chatham, Ontario. My wife and I, we live out there. It's a really nice brewery, easygoing, all that. But I feel like that would be a fun brewery to play at. I mean, it's a local, you know, it's a small little town where like you go on a Friday, Saturday night, you tell people, you know, a country band's coming, guarantee the place is packed.
Right.
And with you know, something that you both come and something that you both bring to the table, I think it would be a really cool show. It's a cool little brewery. Like it's something neat. It's something local. And when you have something Canadian, local, country, and you mix those all three together, you're gonna have a great night. I in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, especially now that more than ever, you know, with the tariffs and everything that's going in the States, we're just sort of turning in to say, okay, well, what do we have here? You know, let's not look outside. Let's look in for entertainment or for whatever. So maybe this might be Canadian music scene's moment. We're hoping.
Well, and it's crazy how much, you know, the tariffs that how much the tariffs that Trump put on Canada and then Canada going back on the Americans, how much that has done to unite the Canadian people. Because I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like Canada was very much becoming almost isolated itself. Like Canada was becoming very almost getting pulled apart. And now, you know, it was a bunch of fingers and now it's becoming a fist again. And I just feel as if, you know, Canada's, because of the tariffs, you know, Canada's, you know, people are coming together saying, you know, everyone's buying Canadian, you know, everyone's trying to keep everything Canadian and trying to unite as a country, especially with the election coming up, you know, and it just everything with that craziness that's going on in the world. I think you're starting to see the change in the shift in the Canadian people. And it's cool to kind of see the people reunite. And it's sad that it took tariffs to really do that.
Yeah, but local, like, you know, people have always said shop local, but I think the general population is finally understanding, we have to shop local, you know, to support our own people now, which is lovely. And we definitely, I mean, whether that's the reason or not, but we definitely felt that when we had our premiere 2 weeks ago, that it was like people were in it full because they were supporting.
Even when we were filming and we need a location, and we only had it happen once where one of our locations fell through, and we just walked down the street to a friend's shop and we're just like, hey, can we shoot here? And
that's true.
We literally got past the keys and just said, just bring them, just leave them in the mailbox and you're done.
Yeah, people were just excited something was happening here.
Yeah.
Finally, it wasn't somewhere outside that was coming here to utilize and kind of take what we had. It was locals doing something.
And we're showcasing local business and showcasing local architecture, and you know, that was important.
Yeah.
I think that's really neat as well. You get a lot of local people that are willing to just throw the keys in the lockbox, or the lockbox, or keep box, whatever you want, mailbox. And
it's like, do you want me to clean?
Like, well, they're not asking you to shine their shoes too, so there you go. Like that's really cool. It's cool to see that, and you know, I was expecting something like that in Corona, because Corona's even really small. But I mean, the fact that Chatham still can have people like that, I think that's really neat. And I mean, for me, I don't know. I just like I personally, if I was a stoner, I don't know if I'd still be like, here you go, just take my keys and just all right, I'll see you later. But I see, like it's
No, we've been here for 12 years now, and we have given back a lot to the community. We play a lot of charity events. We're always out in the community. We've got a wide base of friends and acquaintances.
We've had other projects that we've done, kids camps, theater shows within the community.
Pat owns a jiu-jitsu gym.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and they know where we live. It's not like we would run away with their, and they're like, I'm going to come to your house. If you do something to my business, I'm going to call your mom. There's accountability, as you know, in a small town. You can't get away with doing anything, under the radar or whatever, because you have to be accountable. You'll see those people again.
Well, and you brought up a really cool point about how, giving back to the community. And, that's another thing I've been really learning about, just myself, my life, and, putting hard work in and selling and then just just giving back to people. It's not just about what's the right thing to do, but it's good. It's been shown that it's good for your soul. It's good for your soul to give back to people. And not just that, but the fact that, everybody, the whole community coming together to come support you guys and then giving back is it's giving and receiving. I think it's, it's like paying it forward, like I think it's a really good quality that you both have shown. And, I think like a lot of people, don't realize the importance of just giving back. I think sometimes you have businesses that do it because, makes them look good, or, some people just do it because it's right. They feel it's the right thing to do, but honestly, it's good for the soul. It's good in what it does. And then, you give back to one person, then they receive it. And it is like paying back. It's like pay back or paying it forward,
Yeah. Well, we never thought that, we've had friends that have started businesses and we've sang there and supported them just because that's what you do. You want your community to thrive. Why would you want it just to kind of, suffer? You want it to thrive. So you're going to help as much as you can. And we were not expecting the support that we had from our show. We weren't thinking in 12 years time, we will be making a show and we'll, cash in all of our favors. But no, people came out willingly, and that's...
and you could see it at the premiere. We had around 700 people show up.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Good for you both. That's awesome.
Thank you. And they were laughing, and they were just happy to be there, happy to be a part of something.
Yeah, everybody was a part of it. Everybody was a part of it, and they had ownership of it, being from Chatham. It was great. Yeah.
And so we did our job in that respect, that everybody felt like they could go home and say, it's about these two fools, but it's really ours. It's a community piece. And that's the start of a bunch of stuff, hopefully. Then other creators will feel that they can do something. And then we'll help them and we'll support them, because lift people up and it only lifts you up.
Mm-hmm. Well, Megan, Pat, we're coming up on time here, and this has been really awesome. It's been awesome. It's been fun to do this, and I knew it was going to be, and it's just a pleasure having you both on. This is actually a really cool experience for me to be able to meet two local, almost celebrities. I would say celebrities in a way, and this is great. This is fun, and I loved it. I would hope that you both will come out this way. I know you said you're playing somewhere. You're potentially playing somewhere in Sarnia. That'd be great. That'd be awesome. Well, if it's country and whatnot, I'll bring the wife out. I can't guarantee I'll be the one DDing, but I probably will be.
Because the music is so difficult. You need to get drunk to listen to it. Ooh, Luke, we're going to change your mind. We're going to revolutionize your ears when you're there.
Just makes it better.
We'll put all the rap up front first to be like, Luke, dance.
There you go. No, I do appreciate it though, guys. I appreciate you both taking the time to come on here and talk about a little bit of it. And for people watching, thanks for always watching my episodes. And for yourselves, this is the floor is yours. You can tell the people where to find your content, and I'll leave it for both of you.
Thank you.
Find us at deepsw.ca on our website, and follow us on Instagram at deep_southwest.
Yes, and you can find our music on Spotify and all the streaming services.
Yeah.
We are putting out a vinyl soon-ish, so in the next month or so, that'll be coming out for all the music from our TV series,
which is currently on Bell 5 TV1.
Yes, so if you have Bell Internet, you can just download the app and watch it. And if not, you can pay $10 and watch our show. There are 5 episodes, hour and 15 minutes worth of hilarious content.
I know I will be watching soon, and I know a lot more people will be. So, guys, thanks again, and let's stay in touch.